I've lost over 25 pounds, almost 6% body fat as well. I feel better in the clothing. I feel like I look better.
I've learned over this time was that there's so many factors that are going to go into it, but we just kind of stay true to the course, and we're going to see what we would expect to see.
I think I've lost a total of 50 something pounds since we started working together, which is just, amazing.
Mentally and physically, before I started working with Ryan, I'd say mentally I was probably thinking I was doing more than I really was and should be seeing results that, based on what I was actually doing, I shouldn't be seeing. And so I was frustrated by that. Physically, I was, carrying more weight than I definitely should have been, but I was, fairly active. Like, I was in good shape, but simultaneously, frustrated by the fact that, I was working out, and in my mind, working out pretty hard and not seeing, the body composition changes that I was hoping to. My big breakthrough, sadly, was probably the start of the pandemic. I was not seeing the results that I had wanted to see, when we were all forced to stay at home. That gave me this sort of platform to really focus on paying attention to what I was eating, tracking my food, and taking me out of my old habits. I've had a lot of victories for me personally. I've lost over 25 pounds, almost 6% body fat. I feel better in the clothing. I feel like I look better. I started running again. I just, feel physically, much better. I would recommend Ryan to anybody. I think my experience with him has been just fantastic. You can see real results quickly if you, focus on, the appropriate calorie deficit for you and protein consumption and all that. I think he's smart, adaptable. I think he's not prescriptive, and I think he knows how to continue to help you work through ups and downs through all of this. Continue to not only work with you as you get frustrated mentally, but also, help the diet or what you're putting in to you so that you can start to continue to see the results that you want.
So before I started working with Ryan, I definitely thought that the big thing to focus on for me was a trainer. I had had a couple different trainers, had gotten really strong, but was struggling with actually seeing the scale move and seeing my body composition kind of change. So I was worried when we started working together initially that I was gonna have to eat certain foods and really be counting every single calorie, which I don't have a lot of time for or patience, to be honest. I think I've lost a total of 50 something pounds since we started working together, which is just, amazing. I can have cookies in my house and not worry about wanting to eat the whole batch because I don't feel guilty about having one. I can have wine without worrying and feeling guilty about breaking my diet. One of the most surprising things about working with Ryan was just how much he listened and how much he really got me. He never tried to make me do a certain thing. It was really about listening to what I had going on, targeting his nutritional coaching around my life. And once I started seeing results, then all there was to do was to continue to do the work. If you're thinking about taking on Ryan's coaching, I highly recommend it.
I could say mentally, before starting with Ryan, I was probably in the same place as a lot of people, kind of this sad place. Physically, my workouts felt like they were going okay, kind of as good as they were gonna get with this virtual landscape. I could at least say I was keeping active, which I'm sure is a lot more than a lot of people could say right now. I think I started out this quarantine as one of those people who was like, I'm gonna support local businesses. But outside of a global pandemic, I think I'm really someone who just kind of relies on the seasons to dictate how well I pay attention to nutrition. So when I started with Ryan, I wouldn't say that I was skeptical that he could help pull me out of this funk I was in right now. Something I've learned over this time was that there's so many factors that are going to go into it, but we just kind of stay true to the course, and we're going to see what we would expect to see with what I was doing in terms of my food logging and just kind of listening to all of the helpful resources that Ryan would give me on a regular weekly basis. I can't endorse the help of an RD enough, and especially one as knowledgeable and there for you and your personal nutrition goals as Ryan was for me.
Working with him has been fantastic, and I couldn't recommend him more highly.
I would recommend Ryan to literally anyone who feels like they've done it all or if they tried it all, especially in terms of fitness.
I'd highly recommend you taking the step to get your nutrition in check and hit your fitness goals. So choose Ryan. I'm really happy I did.